I, male 25, live with my younger sister, Katie, female 22, in our apartment in a large city. I study and work here, and Katie has also recently enrolled in a program, so living together is the most affordable arrangement. I would say that we've always had a pretty strong relationship, and as such, I've never really felt the need to be very protective over her until recently. A few weeks ago, I came across something that's been bothering me a bit. My friend Jack, male 24, has been part of my friends group for about 2 years now, and we've grown closer over the past year. He's a pretty nice guy, but I can't ignore the fact that Jack has a history of quickly jumping from one relationship to another and has a reputation for cheating on his partners. Simply put, he's a womanizer. The issue began when Katie mentioned that she and Jack were following each other on Instagram and had been chatting. I felt pretty uncomfortable with this, as I'm fully aware of Jack's past. At the time, I tried telling her a bit about Jack's history, but she brushed it off, claiming she isn't interested in anything like that. Fast forward a few weeks, and I spotted Katie being dropped off in front of our apartment complex by Jack. I was surprised by this, as neither of them told me anything about seeing each other, so I decided to confront her about it. Needless to say, we ended up in a heated argument. I told her about my concerns, telling her that Jack is a textbook player, and not someone she should get involved with. I also reminded her that she's here to focus on finishing her degree, and not to date someone with a history like Jack's. But of course, Katie defended him, saying that people can change, and he didn't seem that way to her. She then accused me of being too controlling and not giving Jack a chance. I was annoyed by this, so I told her that if she continued like this, I would be letting our parents know about this. She became more furious by this, and yelled at me before going into her room. The next day, 5 days ago, I saw Jack and told him that I didn't want him communicating with my sister. Jack played dumb at first, but then agreed to my request, saying he'd respect my boundaries. Since then, Katie has been complaining to her friends that Jack doesn't contact her as much as he used to, and she's convinced that I must be involved somehow. When she asked me about Jack, I've been largely avoided answering her accusations. Am I the a-hole? Edit. For some more context, Katie has always indicated she wants a serious relationship. I know that in the past, Jack has pretended to offer serious relationships, but almost always ended up ghosting the girl. First of all, it's essential to recognize that meddling in someone else's relationship is generally not a healthy or respectful behavior. It's clear from your description that you care about your sister and have her best interests at heart, but trying to control her decisions and actions can be perceived as overbearing and controlling. Here's some advice to consider. 1. Respect her autonomy. Your sister is an adult capable of making her own choices and decisions. It's important to trust her judgment and respect her right to live her life as she sees fit, even if you have concerns. 2. Communicate openly. Instead of making ultimatums or issuing threats, try having an open and honest conversation with your sister about your worries. Share your genuine concerns about Jack's past and how you don't want to see her get hurt. Let her know you care about her well-being. 3. Express your feelings without being forceful. Avoid being aggressive or judgmental in your approach. State your concerns calmly and respectfully, allowing her to consider your perspective without feeling attacked. 4. Offer support and advice. Let your sister know that you'll be there for her no matter what. Offer your support and guidance, but ultimately allow her to make her own choices. 5. Encourage self-awareness. Help your sister think critically about her relationship with Jack and consider potential red flags. Encourage her to reflect on what she wants from a relationship and whether Jack aligns with her long-term goals. 6. Allow her to make mistakes. People often learn valuable lessons through their experiences, even if they make mistakes along the way. Sometimes it's necessary to let others go through their journey and be there to support them when needed. Regarding your question about being the a-hole, it's not my place to pass judgment on your actions. It's essential to learn from the situation and consider how you can handle similar situations more effectively in the future. Being overly controlling can harm your relationship with your sister, so try to find a balance between expressing your concerns and respecting her autonomy. Remember, you can still care for your sister without trying to control her decisions. Trust her to make the choices that are right for her, even if you disagree with them. You're the a-hole. What gives you the right to control your sister like this? She is a grown-up woman who can make her own decisions about her life. Telling her the first time about Jack was fine, but after that, you should have left it up to her. Did it make you feel like a big tough man to wield that much power over your sister? YTA, YTA, YTA. You are the a-hole for being his friend at all. If you don't like him being a womanizer, call him on it. You think his behavior is wrong, but you're still okay with being his friend? You only care if it's your sister, not if it's another woman? Trash. She's a grown-up and can make her decisions. She probably only knows him because you guys are friends. Plus, you shouldn't be telling anything about her private life to your parents. So much this. I am okay with my friend treating women like crap, as long as it doesn't affect me. But if it affects me, then I have to get really angry and aggressive. OP, if you think that Jack is so bad that you don't want him near your sister, what kind of a-hole are you that you are okay with his actions as long as it is to random women? What the duck is this, Bridgerton? You're going to tell your parents? Why is a possibly unwise, but by no indication unsafe grown-up relationship any of their or your business? YTA, you condescending misogynist. You're the a-hole, and you know it or you'd come clean with her. She's 22. You told her Jack's history. Now it's up to her. Mind your damn business. You're the a-hole. Both Katie and Jack are grown-ups who can make their own decisions. Maybe Katie gets her heart broken. Lesson learned. You warned her. Now let it go. The fact that at your age you feel the need to tattle to your parents about who your grown-up sister is dating is really sad, dude. You need to apologize to them both for interfering to the degree that you did and get out of the way. I, 48 female, have a younger brother called Alex, 44 male. I'm the second oldest. I have an older sister, Marina, 50 female, and a younger sister, Helen, 46 female. Around 5 years ago, Alex's ex-wife, Natalie, 47 female, cheated on him and they split up. It was a very sad situation as Alex adored his wife. But she wanted someone who was present more as he is a heart surgeon and his job is demanding. Around this time, Alex started to struggle with mental health problems and went down a dark path for about a year. He hired a housekeeper, Sarah, 18 female at the time, 23 female, now who fired after only 3 months. Back then he claimed it was because he didn't want to be lazy and he wanted to take care of his own cleaning/cooking, but we recently found out that it was because he got her pregnant, but he didn't believe the child was his. He refused to do a paternity test and essentially left that poor young girl to fend for herself. His excuse was that she was a recovering addict, and he was ashamed that he had gotten involved with her. But I don't understand why he would have hired a recovering addict in the first place if that was going to be such a big deal with him. Somehow, he recently got back into contact with her and found out about his 4-year-old son. He panicked about it and told the family. He said that he was going to send child support and see his son weekly, but that he wasn't going to introduce the boy to his 14-year-old twin daughters with Natalie, and that the boy wasn't going to be a part of our family holidays. He introduced Sarah to our family, and although she seems fine now, she struggled a lot when he abandoned her as she had no friends or family to support her. Her situation reminded me of how we grew up when our father abandoned our family, and it made me sick to know my brother had done the same. I told him that it was wrong for him to treat his son like a dirty secret, just because he's embarrassed about how he behaved. I host all family holidays and gatherings because no one else is organized enough, and I said that I wanted to see my nephew there, or I would stop hosting because that child deserves to know where he came from. My mother and older sister agree with me, but Helen and Alex are calling me the a-hole for trying to dictate how he handles his life. Am I the a-hole? You are not the a-hole in this situation. It is commendable that you are standing up for what you believe is right and advocating for the well-being of your nephew. Your concern for the child's welfare and your desire to have him included in family gatherings are valid and compassionate responses. Here's some advice for you. 1. Continue expressing your concerns. It's important not to back down from your stance if you genuinely believe that your nephew should be acknowledged and included in the family. Keep communicating with your brother and the rest of the family about the importance of supporting the child and being there for him. Offer support and understanding. While it's essential to express your feelings about the situation, try to offer support and understanding to your brother as well. Encourage him to face his past actions and take responsibility for them. Let him know that it's never too late to be a part of his son's life and make amends. 2. Encourage open communication. Encourage your brother and Sarah to communicate openly about their situation and the needs of their child. Encourage him to seek professional advice or counseling if necessary to help him navigate this new chapter in his life. 3. Be patient. Dealing with complex family dynamics can be challenging and emotions can run high. Be patient with your family members as they process and come to terms with the situation. 4. Set boundaries. If your brother and other family members continue to dismiss your concerns or berate you for your stance, set boundaries to protect your emotional well-being. It's okay to step back from arguments that become hurtful or unproductive. Support your nephew. If your brother chooses to be a part of his son's life, be there to support your nephew in any way you can. Offer him love, understanding, and a sense of belonging within the family. Ultimately, your intentions appear to be rooted in compassion and empathy for your nephew's well-being. You are standing up for someone who needs support and understanding, which is a noble and caring thing to do. Keep advocating for what you believe is right, and continue fostering a loving and inclusive family environment for everyone involved. Your heart's in the right place, but slow your roll for a second and make sure you're thinking about what's best for the kid, not what you wish had happened in your childhood. If Sarah and the boy showed up at the big family Christmas when they don't know most of you and not everyone wants them there, how's that going to go? How is the child going to be made to feel? I'd say work on building a relationship with them first before making decisions about big events like that. Ultimately, having an aunt who wants him in her life and who shows up for him will be far more important to that boy than whether he comes to your Christmas this year. Finally, while your brother has been an absolute a-hole, it sounds like he is only now at the very beginning of letting his son into his life. His policies about holidays and who meets who may change over time as he gets used to the concept. I'm not saying he's right or that you can't argue with him. Just don't necessarily assume that what he says right now is actually an edict that will be true forever. Not the a-hole, but be careful not to cause any collateral damage to the kid in your charge for justice. Not the a-hole. Don't stop hosting family gatherings. Tell Alex he isn't allowed to come until he realizes what family means and acts like that boy is his family. Make sure the mom knows her son is invited every time. I honestly would start inviting Sarah and your nephew. Duck your brother. That woman deserves and needs support. NTA. Dude knocked up a teenager that was half his and abandoned her and his child. Now he wants to treat his child like an outsider? I'm glad you are calling him out and encouraging your nephew to be a part of the family. Worldwide comments of the day. Considering she's the cheater, I get the strange feeling he wasn't as distant as she says he was. Cheaters often vastly over-exaggerate how neglected they were in the relationship to justify their cheating, so I'm going to take her comments on him with a large grain of salt. Story 1. I don't buy it. Who just cuts an SO off from affection for no reason whatsoever? Is it possible? Absolutely. Is it likely that it's for no reason? Not likely. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe for more interesting and relatable Reddit videos.